Hi there, this is Alan. I'm going to show you a few extra little tips that you may want to think about for your WordPress blog. I've just set up a new one just like you have done. And when you first log into your admin screen, you see this kind of welcome interface, and we can just get rid of this. You don't really need to see it every time. And this is more of an example. What you'll see as a summary of your dashboard gives you a sense of your activity that's going on. If you don't want to see all this, you can go up into screen options and you can say, I don't really need to see quick press, or I don't really need to see incoming links. So you can customize this little dashboard here. But this does show you the latest activity in your blog. Of course, right now there's really not much going on. Martha gave you an indication of where you create things in the post. But one thing that you're going to think about that I like to encourage my students is to start from the beginning to think about the ways that they're going to be organizing their DS-106 work. So in WordPress, you can create these things known as categories, which is a way to organize the things that you write, mainly your blog posts. So later on, it becomes easy to have them come up in one display. And now I'm waiting for my blog to kindly respond so I can see categories. So by default, you get this one called uncategorized. So everything that you write is going to have this as a default category. That's a little bit boring and ugly, so we can go right in now with this quick edit and change this to say miscellaneous. And this could be whatever you want. This could be blog posts, this could be stuff. Actually, maybe I will do stuff. The slug is what WordPress uses when it creates URLs. So by changing this default category, this means that everything that I write to my blog, if I don't explicitly define a category, is going to call it stuff. Now as we go along, and I'll show you a different way you can create categories, but you might want to think ahead of time of the categories of information that you may be writing for this course, because if you organize it now, it will make it less work to organize it later. So one of the categories I might make up is just assignments. These are going to be all the stuff that I'm going to do, and I'm going to create this category called assignments. Create a new category. It'll automatically create a stuff here. I'm going to create another one called daily creates. So all the work that I write about my daily creates, I'll be able to have a category for that. And then I may have another one. I like to do like best works. So as I go along, I can really start organizing what I think are the best things that I've created. So this is really creating the categories that I may think I want to use. You can always go back and edit these. When you are writing a post, and I may want to be starting, this may be my family legend story. Maybe this is writing about the thing that I did for our daily create this week. Already here on the bottom you can see that I can already organize this into categories, but if I want I can add a new category. I did this for daily create, so I might indicate that. You can put things into multiple categories, so I might decide I may want to do a lot of family stories, so I may have a category called family tales. So I can put things in multiple categories, and that's how you organize things. The other organizing tool, and it seems very similar, is you can add tags to your work. And we're going to be asking you to do this for several of your assignments. This helps not only organize it on your blog, but also organizes it when we synchronize it into the Magic MacGuffin site. So if I had been told that this was for my story web tag, this is sort of a descriptive piece of information that will go along with your post wherever it goes. And then of course I can begin writing my stuff here. My family legend begins with blah 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 blah. So for now, since I've only really created this as a stub, I'm going to say this is a draft. This is not really published yet till I'm done writing. You'll get another tutorial on how to sort of do the writing of WordPress stuff, but I just wanted to show you the category information. Posts are the things that you're going to be writing every day. They have a date associated with them. They appear on your blog with the most recent content first. There's another kind of information that looks very similar called pages. And pages are useful for creating things that really aren't part of the chronological flow. And a typical thing that people do is they write an about page, and I encourage everybody to do this. So by default, you get this one called sample page, which is pretty dull, so I'm going to get rid of this one right away. So I'm just going to trash it. And now I'm going to add a new page. And this works just like pretty much the post editor. I'm going to call this one about. I want to say this is my personal, let's see if I can do it without typos, space for work in DS106. DS106 is something I want to link to. I really encourage you to link extensively to your stuff. So I'm actually going to make that be a hyperlink. And this is going to be a page where I'm going to say, just make it my welcome page. And I'm going to say, welcome to the craziness of camp. And of course, you can add pictures, etc. But I just, for right now, I want to save this as a page, and I'm going to publish it. If I want to, I can go view the page if I want to check it out. And it's going to pop up here in another new tab, and this is sort of an about page. And you can see in this default theme that it already puts a menu button to this page, and we'll go into the how you set up your menus next, because this is really important. This can vary depending on what theme you choose, but most current themes have a really advanced menu system, which allow you to customize that whole top appearance. By default, with this 2012 theme, it will add every page as a menu button, and we may not really want that sort of thing. So I'm going to make up a name for my menu. It doesn't really matter what you call it. I usually call mine main. This is just an internal identifier. And this is going to say I want my primary menu. It says my theme supports one menu. So I want to use main as the primary menu on my site. As you create content in WordPress, you get options here on what sort of information you want to have as menu items. So if I want this about page to appear on my site, it's going to come up there. I can also make a URL a link to my site. So I can put a link to my regular blog, and I'll just call it Cogdog blog. So anything that you have as a URL, you can make a menu item. And I could say I want to make a menu item to my Flickr photos, and I know that URL, and I can say Flickr. So as you create different sites for this class, you can create them as menu items. And also anything you put in a category can also be added to a link. So this will allow me to link to all the stuff in my stuff category. I may not want that. Another interesting thing with the menus is you can sort of create them as hierarchies. So if I just drag this little guy over and this one in, both of these will appear in my site under the About menu. So menus are a very powerful way to organize your information. If I want to see how my site looks, I go here and visit my site. I usually command tap it so it opens in a new pad. And you can see that I have this About menu now, and these two items I added will fall under it. So do some experimentation with your menus. Think about how you're going to organize your information. The last thing I want to tell you about are some settings that are worth changing on your site right away. If we go to our general setting, by default, Hippie Hosting creates a blog called My CMS. That's pretty boring. So come up with an interesting title for your blog. So, and don't just call it DS106 or Camp. So I'm going to call it Alan's Summer Camp Adventure. And this is how your blog is going to be. It's going to appear on the title of your blog. It's going to appear in your RSS feeds. The tagline is just what it says. And you definitely want to change this because you don't want it looking just to say just another WordPress blog, because that's McGuffining it up. That's going to be sort of a subtitle for your blog. The rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. You may want to make sure that the email address is the one that you check primarily, because that's where you get notifications of activity on your blog. I'm going to save this setting, and now when I go to preview, it's already changed it on my internal dashboard, and you can see now it says Alan's Summer Camp Adventure. So I'm already getting more of a customized look to my blog. Under writing, there's really not much that you can change here. You can change the default category. If I wanted to make my default category Daily Creates, that's something that you can easily change. If you find that the editing box is really not high enough for you to edit, sometimes I like a bigger editing field. I can make that 30. I don't really like emoticons because sometimes I do want parentheses. So this is not really significant changes that you want to do on your blog, but you just may want to look at exploring and see what's out there. One that you really want to think about doing is permalinks. And look, come on, hippie hosting, there we go. Permalinks give you a lot of flexibility to how the URLs, the web addresses for your content appear on the site. So by default, you get this kind of codish looking one where all your URLs are going to be with whatever your domain is. Mine's blog.106tricks.net / P equals 123. 123 is like a database identifier. It's not really descriptive, so there are ways you can sort of make your URLs a little bit more prettier. What a lot of people do is do it with a day and name structure. So as I write a new post, it's going to actually put a year, month, and day, and then sort of do an abbreviation based upon the title of my post. And that way, when you look at the URL, you can get a sense about where it occurred in time. That's one option you can take. Another one, if you just want really short ones, is just based on the post name, and that gives you like much more of a compact URL. And again, this is your choice. You probably want to not switch this later on, because once you start creating links to your blogs, you don't want to change the permalinks. So I would say make this change right now. And when I save this change, now when I go to my site, my first blog post here that says Hello World, the URL is Hello World. This is the one that you probably want to delete or modify because it's kind of boring and everybody else has it. And those are just some small things that we suggest that you think about doing as you on your start out here on your blog. You're going to get lots of practice. In a future tutorial, Martha's going to clue you into how you can pick new themes and new plugins. But you'll be spending a lot of time in this dashboard. It'll get very comfortable for you, and it should be fun as well. And that's the end of this little screencast.